there, quirky birders, and welcome back to the final day of our landscape painting. So I hope you've enjoyed this as the process has been continuing. You should now end up with something looking a little bit like this. So we've got our lovely sky with the clouds, we've got our mountains, our trees, and then yesterday we worked on the shadowing and shading of our lovely lake. So today what we're going to do is take a little bit of time just to put in some details using our fine liner pen. I don't think it would be a paint along with the quirky bird unless it included our little our black pens. So what we're going to start off doing is we're just going to put in some extra details to these trees just using the pen. So where we've scratched our little our lighter trunk, we're just going to use the pen just to add in those details. So we'll just put in a couple of branches, just keeping it fairly light. Don't overthink it. Just very, very light pen marks you're doing. We're not doing anything too bold. We just want some nice detail on those trees. So can you see that? Just very, very light indeed. So this process is just going to take a little time. So just working very lightly. Thinking about the trees towards the rear and some lower ones in the foreground. So just work quite methodically along your painting. And then you could just always just add one or two little pen lines just along that shoreline, just to give it that extra bit of definition. Just do some little smaller trees. So take some time and just work in that detail quite methodically all along the trees. So I'll just leave the camera running while I work on this side. So these are a little bit different. These are the fir trees, so just to keep it nice, and then just draw in the branches as you're coming down the tree. Again, just keeping it very abstract, like very loose. It's just giving you that suggestion of that fir tree. And with the fir tree, it's a little bit fluffier and bushier at the bottom. So just change your pen strokes ever so slightly just to make some allowances for that, so it's just that little bit fluffier. And then you should end up with something like that. So I'm just going to take some time to carry on and do this. So I'll just leave the camera running. Again, just doing it a little bit bushier just at the bottom. And then we can just add in some of the grasses just at the bottom and the little other tree trunks. Just doing this tree here. Okay, so you get the idea. So you just need to take the time to put in the details along here. So I'm just going to do that now, and I'll come back to you in a little while. Okay, so I'm back again now, and what I've done is I've just then taken the time to put in some of the ink details on the trees, and you can see that that really has brought them to life. So what we're now going to do is we're just going to put in some reeds here at the front. Now for that I'm just going to be using my brush fine liner pen, and I'm going to be really quite bold with regards to what I'm doing with this one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a nice big sweeping bulrush right the way up, like so. And we're keeping it nice and tall. So again, we'll just go with another one. And then we'll add and then we can bring another one over here, and I think we'll just keep with the 5, so we'll just then add another one there, and then we just need to add in the fluffy seed heads, so just putting a little bit scribble to suggest the seed heads. Now you don't have to do this if you don't want to. if you're liking the way that your picture is looking with your trees and your lake, that's absolutely fine. Just in a little bit more. Now we just need to add some leaves to our bulrushes. Make that a little bit denser in the foreground, just so it's a little bit bolder in this bottom corner. And then I'm going to change my pen and go back to my usual fine liner pen. And all I'm now going to do is just put in that little bit of shading just along the shoreline. So just lightly scribble, just to give you those nice definitions. And then just to give that shoreline a little bit of prominence, just use your fine liner just to scribble along that shoreline, and that just defines that space and just gives it that prominent horizon. Just doing in between the bulrushes here. Now I'm just going to change my pen. I'm just going to go and grab a different pen. Now sometimes what's nice to use for this shading is just a standard ballpoint pen. So I'm just going to squiggle using my ballpoint pen. I just tend to find that sometimes this pen just moves that a little bit easier on the paper. And then just using the same pen, we'll just go over the details of the bulrushes just to add in a little bit of extra definition. So just using a single pen stroke to the stems of the bulrushes, and then just add in some of the leaves. And then what you can do is just put a couple of smaller ones just here, just in the and then also I'm now going to do is just put a little very, very light shading just on a couple of the mountains. It's a completely different style to how we've been painting for the duration of lockdown. I don't want to overwork it, so I'm just putting in just some little tonal details, that's all, nothing, because I really don't want to overwork it. So I just want to define that shadowing. And then all we need to do, if you're happy with it, is just sign the work. And then we'll just take our masking tape away. Just using my black fine liner, I'm just going to put a couple of little birds, just to give it a little bit of balance over this side of the painting. So there we have it. Our very first landscape painting. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this process. I can't wait to see what you've done. Like I say, it's all about just sort of pushing yourself just that little bit further and just coming up with something a little bit different. But have some fun, enjoy. I'm here if you've got any questions whatsoever. And I can't wait to see what you produce. Thank you very much. Bye bye.